Okay, so obviously NFL football is over, but we do have the Spring Football League, the UFL, which starts up in I think it's like March 20th or something. We got about a month to go till it officially kicks off the regular season. I don't know if they have a preseason. I don't think so, unless it might just be like non-televised, like little scrimmages or something. But I saw these rule changes, and it just it piqued my interest, and so we got to talk about it. There are, let's see, I think it says it here. Several new. What do we have? One, two, three, four, five. Five rule changes. I don't know if there will be more. It sounds like this might be it. I don't know. We'll see. But there's a couple ones in here that I think are really interesting. And then they talk about tweaking the kickoff again, which we'll talk about at the end because there's not really too much. I mean, I don't really care too much about that part. I do like because obviously they have the old NFL kickoff, and so again, maybe they go back. Oh, to the four. Oh yeah. Okay, we'll read it. We'll go in order. Because the second one here is really cool, but we'll talk about this first one here first. The first one here first. The top one here first. So if you are on your opponent's 50, so basically once you cross midfield, you're not allowed to punt at all. Now, it seems kind of dumb, kind of like what are they doing? Like that's kind of stupid. Because why would you punt if you are at like the 45-yard line, the 40-yard line of the opposing team? Why are you punting? But I kind of understand it because obviously they're gonna punters are just gonna kick left or right and just try to get your team or the opposing team inside like the 5-yard line, we'll say, or whatever. So basically what this rule is once you cross midfield, you have to go for it. And they will get penalized and lose yardage to push them back in their own territory, and they're still not allowed to punt. So, again, if you try to punt, so let's say you're at like the 45-yard line of the opponent's side, and you try to punt, you're going to go back to your side, and then you're still not allowed to punt. So now you just made 4th and 10 to 4th and 20, we'll say. And then you have to go for it, obviously. So I do like this. There is a caveat here, so teams will be allowed to punt inside the 50 after the 2-minute warning of either half, but that will be the only situation where it's permitted. So basically, if your team is up 17 points or whatever, and it's okay, well, I don't want to go for it, then let's if you're at the 45 of their their side, and you're trying to end the game or whatever, and you're up again 17 points, it's okay, yeah, we'll allow them to punt. So basically, this is basically just incentivizing the offense to just go for it and try to get it. And really, the UFL loves kind of pushing 4th down, go for it on 1st through 4th down. We don't want to waste 4th down. Obviously, you have coaches like Dan Campbell is a great example in the NFL who loves 4th and short, and he will run it down your throat on 4th and short, or he'll throw an out route or a slant or something. As a Packers fan, I see that man twice a year. So you always have to be ready. I respect the hell out of him as a coach. I think it's really ballsy and really cool that he goes for it on 4th down rather than being it's 4th and 2. Why settle for the field goal when we can, live or die by the 4th down and, by the 4th down play. It seems like the UFL definitely wants more hey, we want points. We want to, we want to keep offenses on the field. And so that's why, again, they're doing more, points based, this, 3-point is what I meant before. Then, this rule right here, and they're trying to push offenses. So this rule kind of seems like it is what it is, but I kind of like it. Especially again, instead of basically pinning the or the opposing offense inside, let's say, the 5 yard line again. Then you make them go for it on, say, like, again, we'll go 4th and 5. So then if they don't get it, if you're at your opponent's 45 yard line and you don't get it and you turn the ball over there, then, well, hey, you're down 3 points. Well, now you only have to go 15 yards and you can attempt a field goal or something. And even, you can only go 5 yards, and we'll talk about it. Wait. Oh, yeah, no, wait. Hang on, I thought I saw something about a field goal. Oh! What? Okay, I don't know why this is not... Okay. This was the tush push being banned, and then the 4-point field goal were the two things that got me interested in this. And they just talk about it right here. Like, and I guess like right here, like they kind of, longest kicking UFL history was Jake Bates, Lions 64-yarder. I watched that game. That was like amazing, and I knew instantly he was being signed by an NFL team. I didn't know if it was going to be the Lions, but I knew instantly he was getting a contract with an NFL team when you make a 64-yarder. Like, yeah, and he's been real good in the NFL too as well. So it worked out for him. Definitely worked out for him. But basically, I don't know why they didn't just. I don't know why it gets all this, but then hey, let's just put little blurbs here for the rest of them. But basically, if you have a 60-yard or longer, there is a chance at more points. More points. 4-point field goal. You get 4 points for a 60-plus yard field goal if you make it. I think that is really interesting. I really like that idea. I really do. I think that is just because of how rare it is. Now, obviously, kickers nowadays are a million times better than kickers from, the 90s or the 80s. And it's just because, some of them have some, soccer background or football background. And so, a lot of kickers can actually kick from further away. Now you have all the advancements and whatever, and you have, coaches that can help out, like coaching, like they're better at coaching now and understanding it than, maybe coaches were back in the 80s or 90s. And obviously they're probably still using some stuff from, that era. But, coaching, kicking, doing other sports, there's like people, you see freaking YouTubers out there, kicking field goals. Like, everyone wants to kick a field goal. Like, so, with kickers getting better, with, kick strength getting better and whatnot, I think this is a really cool idea. It's 4 points is definitely interesting. Obviously, it's only 1 point more than a normal field goal. Obviously, this rule, I don't know if the NFL would ever implement it. I really don't. Now, I say that, and 5 years down the line, come back to this video and be like, they implemented it, because it's sometimes what it feels like they do is they're kind of partnered with the UFL because they were originally partnered with the XFL, who again merged with the USFL. And so it sounds like they're kind of like going to be testing a bunch of like rules in the UFL and then moving them up into the NFL league. Because I feel there was another, I think there was like 2 rules like a year or 2 ago. I think there was another rule implemented in the NFL that was already in the UFL or USFL or XFL, whatever it was at the time. So it feels like they could, but I don't know. I really don't know if they would. Like, obviously, that like this can be changed from a game tying field goal to a game winning field goal, but then it also is just like, okay, well, if we have a good offense but we're down 3 points, rather than risk an interception or whatever, we'll just run the ball and hand the ball off and just put it where the kicker is. I don't know. I'm okay. Like this rule I definitely like. I think it's interesting. But I don't want this to turn into, oh, hey, well, this is more than half of a touchdown, so we just basically set up on the 50-yard line, two of them, and we're ahead 8-7, something like that. And then we're just kicking field goals for the rest of the game. Like, I don't know. Obviously, you have to have a good kicker for that, obviously. But I feel like this. I don't want this to be overpowered and overused. And this is obviously definitely going to be like an end of game scenario, mainly, or end of halftime scenario. But I don't know. We'll see if the NFL does implement it. But again, 60 yards or longer, you can get 4 points instead of 3, which again I think is really interesting. Yeah, yeah. Just yeah. So basically, then it's like, okay, now we're kind of scouting for kickers. Also, like they're more important now too. Which again, give them a payday. Get everyone a payday. Yeah. Okay. Again, like we'll see. We'll see if they. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't definitely not be mad. Definitely not at all. Um. Yeah, so he talks about that. All right, so now this rule right here, this rule right here. If only the league actually listened to the Packers, understood the Packers, if they knew what we were trying to do, because they saw it again this past season, but finally. Teams are like, okay, well, we're not going to let you go on 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1. And even still, the freaking Eagles, was it the Commanders game where they did it like 4 times in a row? 4 times in a row! Like, how is that fair? Especially when half the time the freaking Eagles are going offsides, or, offsides, to freaking start chop blocking people. Come on, NFL! Come on! I absolutely love that the UFL is doing this. They saw it. They saw the fan outrage. They were like, you're out. You're done. Get this play off my screen. We don't want to sit here and just watch this 10 times a game, 15 times a game. I'm sorry. Is it overpowered? Yes. Is it technically a QB sneak? Yes. The problem is you just have like running back and tight ends just pushing you from behind, whereas like a QB sneak is more so just kind of like you just do it on your own. Like you don't really have help. That's the difference why it's tush push versus QB sneak. I absolutely just hated this rule. And again, when the Packers last offseason were like, yeah, we want to get rid of this, like everyone's like, oh, it's just, they're the scapegoat for the NFL teams because no one else will do it, and the Packers don't have a real owner, so blah blah blah, we'll just put them out there to do it. And then they freaking do it again. And again, I think it was the Commanders game against the Eagles. It was 3rd down and 2, 4th down and 1, 1st and goal from the 1, touchdown Eagles. Like 4 in a row. That's not fun. That's not football. That's just pushing and shoving. Like this, it's just pushing. There's no thought. There's more injury risk, obviously, because you're in a pile of people. Like, I just, like, good. Keep it out of the UFL. Hopefully the NFL is like, oh, you know what? It actually works for the UFL to not do it that way. Okay, we'll do it too. But we know the NFL is, stubborn, and they probably won't do it. They haven't banned the tush push, but the UFL has. Good on them. Starting this year, it will be an illegal to run a play in which, after the quarterback takes the snap, he immediately drives forward as the offensive line surges and is assisted by additional players behind him who physically push him forward into the surging offensive line. Again, the difference between the tush push and the QB and a QB sneak is additional players. Oh, here. Additional players behind it. We'll highlight this. This is the difference right here. You have Saquon Barkley and whatever tight ends out there. I don't know the tight ends' names of the Eagles. My bad. I don't know every single NFL player in the league right now. Oh, my bad, guy. But basically, like QB sneak is just the QB himself doing it, versus the tush push is getting help. So that's the difference. So the QB sneak is not banned. The tush push is banned, and I'm absolutely love it. Absolutely love that. Great. Then we are going to college rules with 1 foot in bounce. Now, personally, I like 2 feet in bounce. Obviously, I'm okay with college doing 1 foot. I'm definitely okay with that. It's really fun to watch that. But for NFL, and maybe it's just because as far as I can remember, it's always been 2 feet. I don't, maybe back in like, the 80s or 70s, maybe it was 1 foot. I don't remember. I think it's always been 2 feet in bounds. Um, so this rule, like, it is what it is. It is what it. It's okay. Again, it's fun. Like watching that one Indiana wide receiver against, was it Nebraska? I don't remember, but basically the back of the end zone, he got 1 foot in. He got his tippy toe in bounce, and his other foot landed out of bounds as he fell down. But obviously that was like the best catch of the year. Like that's the top 3 catch of the year right there. So like I'm like, that's cool. It's amazing. That's fun. But I don't know, for like the NFL, like think of like Julio Jones with his toe taps, like stuff like people like that. I don't know. I like that's just as fun to me. Like I'm okay with 2 feet in bounds, and then if the NFL ever never does it. Decided to dump the NFL 2-foot rule for catches and go to college rule, which only requires to have a 1 foot in bounds to make the catch. Again, if the NFL never changes that, I'm okay with it. Okay with that. Oops. Then we have the 3-point conversion is possible here. So after a team scores a touchdown, they'll have 3 options. Kick an extra point from the 33-yard line, 33-yard attempt. So it's at the 23-yard line because the end zone is 10 yards. Yeah. So I think that's normal. I think this is NFL. The requirements for NFL. I think I can't remember off the top of my head. Attempt a 2-pointer from the 2-yard line, or they're gonna go for 3 if the team wants to attempt a 3-point conversion. The ball will be placed to the 8-yard line. Now, I don't think this is new. Didn't they already? Or was it maybe the USFL had that and then the XFL didn't? Or maybe the XFL had it and the UFL didn't. I don't know. So one of them had the 3-point conversion. And I don't know why this is here, because I swear this is not new. I could be wrong, but I swear this is not new. So, but yeah, go for them 8-yard line for a 3-point conversion. Now, again, they're designing these 2 rules designed to help the offense. This rule right here is obviously designed to help the defense, because obviously you don't want to give the offense every single rule. They'd be like, oh, we can do whatever we want on the field. No, like we need actual plays. Like so that's helping the defense, and then this helps the offense and defense, because if you can prevent the fourth down and short, then you give the defense gives their offense the ball basically around midfield, and they don't have to go far. At least either attempt a 4-point field goal, or to go for a touchdown to try to tie or win the game. Again, this helps definitely both sides. And again, flip side of this is then you convert it, then you're continue your drive from 45 to 35, and you get 10 yards and boom. So that's that. Again, I don't know. I swear that rule was. All right, tweaks to the kickoff. League uses the kickoff. That's similar to what the NFL uses. And the most notable change this year is that most touchbacks kick out of bounds, so bring the ball out to the 40-yard line. I don't like that, I've never been a fan, because I think the NFL does, is it the 35-yard line now? I always loved when it was at the 25. I don't know, like, they're basically just kind of giving them extra, like, less stats and better field position is what the NFL has kind of been doing with the kickoffs. Whereas I think you could have just, and I know they already did, like you back up the kicker, and I know they already did, but I feel like you could have just back up the kicker maybe another like 2 yards or 3 yards or whatever, and then like help it even more just to be like, oh yeah, okay, less touchbacks, and then if you get a touchback instead of 25. But the 40-yard line, ugh. The only time a touchback won't go out to the 40 is if the ball hits in the landing zone and then rolls in the end zone. In that case, a touchback will go out to the 20-yard line. Like the NFL, the landing zone and space between the goal and goal line and the 20. Oh, the landing zone. Again, it helps offense. It gives the offense way better field position. So again, a lot of these rules are for the offense. Obviously, like this, like if it rolls into the out the back of the end zone, 20-yard line, like that helps the defense. But starting at the 40, the 40, I don't like that. That I do not like. Yeah, I think the 30 is fine, but the 40, ugh. Yeah, let's see here. 8 teams. 3 new this year: Columbus Aviators, Louisville Kings, and Orlando Storm. They joined the Stallions, the Renegades, Defenders, Battlehawks, and Gamblers. Yeah, so they took out some other teams, put some other teams in to try to get more teams around the states to hopefully get. They want better revenue. I feel like they should just bring back some of the older teams before the merge. I feel like they should do that, but maybe they weren't doing that well financially, and that's why they didn't. So, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, and then we got the jerseys here. But let me know your thoughts on the rules added here. Again, I didn't realize like they have a whole thing here about the 4 points, and then it's like, oh, we're just gonna give little blurbs for the rest of it. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Let me know your thoughts on the 4 point field goal attempt outside the 60. No punts once you cross midfield. Banning of the tush push, which I feel like only Eagles fans are going to be like, wah, wah. 1 foot. We got the 1 foot college rule. And then, again, I swear there's already 3-point conversion, but they got 3-point conversion here. And then tweaks to the kickoff. Let me know your thoughts on all of that. Again, the season kicks off in about a month. I think it's around March 20th. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see if I pull up the calendar. It's probably the 22nd. I don't know if you guys can see. I have my calendar pulled up, but it's probably the 22nd. So, with that being said, like the video, share the video around, don't subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace out.